Hi, everyone. Happy week. Happy new moon of Taurus, right? We're in our 4th day of this month. Interesting how the days are passing by so quickly. But it just seems like one long Sunday. So, it's like I saw something on Facebook. It's like, the days are not like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday. It's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Like those are the days. What are you doing today, yesterday, and tomorrow? So we are in a very, of course, interesting time, and we're evolving in time. We're in the book of Leviticus, which is completely correspond with everything that we're going through in the spirit of time with the corona situation that really affecting the whole world. And interesting, I'm always like kind of pinching myself. Is it for real? Like every day, is it for real? I sat yesterday with Karen Berg for a few hours. We were talking about the situation, and is it like really, like, is it something that was caused by nature, or is it something that a person caused it? But you know what, it doesn't matter who and what. Obviously it's from the Creator, and there is a message for each one of us, and there's a lesson for each one of us to learn. And interesting enough, this portion, we have 2 portions this week that connected to the messaging, I guess, of the whole time, is concluding the process that we have been going through. As far as I'm concerned, it's some sort of concluding and an opening for new reality that can start. So the portions of this week are Acharei Mot, which is the after death of Nadav and Avihu, which are the 2 sons out of 4 sons of Aaron, the high priest. And we spoke about it a couple weeks ago when we met. I'll mention it a little bit more, and because there's a major amazing lesson that I combined from the Rav, from different Kabbalists, from Karen and Michael, combined it together for us. It's amazing throughout the years. And the other portion, it's called Kedoshim, which is holy people. And both of them are coming together when we have a year that is, it's not a leap year. Last week, we had kind of a break within the process, but again, a message for all of us, which was 2 portions of Tazria and Metzora were connecting to this plague or to this disease that doesn't exist in the world these days. Interesting. They called it the disease of the Tzarat, and I'm sure that all of you who have listened to Michael Berger from last Shabbat, last weekend lecture, understood what is that disease. That is really interesting, that how it's all, everything is corresponding to the process. And basically with every portion that we read, every messaging that we receiving is complete lesson to each one of us. And the question is how we are taking this information, how we are taking the energy, how we absorbing the energy and taking the tools, the practical tools to apply to each one of us in our life. So starting with the story of the portions, we're talking about Acharei Mot, which is after death of Nadav and Avihu, the 2 sons of Aaron. Interesting, a whole portion talking about what's happening after their death. It's interesting that it's even mentioned. And every time that there's something like it seems like illogical, for example, the portion of Yitro, that it's talking about a specific person, his name Yitro, it's like also kind of surprising, like we raise an eyebrow, like how come the whole story, the whole portion relates to the death and after death of these 2 people. Of course, it's related to us. And every time we're reaching this portion, when it talks about death, it talks about not just the death of the body. It talks about every situation that has an end to it. Sometimes we relate to it because it's death, we relate to it like a chaotic or unpleasant ending. And if we'll take it in that direction, we can know, if we look in our life and we look in the past, we'll see, and we can ask ourselves, every time we reach a point, even if we reach in our point of like our Dead Sea, right? If we reach in a point of ending like we got fired from work, we ended relationship, everything that we were reaching that point, and it was challenging at time. We spoke about it throughout this weeks of portions, how we split in our Red Sea. But now, after we split in our Red Sea, after the death, after the situation has occurred, how we behaving, how we approaching our life, how we treating ourselves, how we connect to ourselves, how we connect to other people. If I'll take it to the situation that's happening now, there seems to be around the world some sort of a little bit gradually going back into some sort of normal situation. A little bit, it's going gradually, because I think not everyone really knows how to make those steps. So I believe this portion preparing us to, after that, the after Corona time, after the isolation, after the quarantine, after this whole maybe 6 weeks in general, or almost 2 months that we were all kind of an isolation from the public in a way. Ask yourself, how do you feel about this? Like, are you really comfortable to go out with full passion to conquer your world, or are we really comfortable at this point maybe to stay home? It's really sometimes comfortable to be with our pajamas, no? It's like for the first couple of weeks, oh my God, what will happen? And then we get used to it. It's our nature of human being, right? We're getting used to it. So the question that we are being asked after that, so after this situation, what is happening? How each one of us understanding, absorbing the lessons that each one of us was supposed to receive, making the changes that are not really easy to make any changes right now, but we, thank God, we're in the consciousness. I'm sure that each one of you is not listening only to this lecture, that you also really in Kabbalah.com and with your teachers connected. But what will happen after that? Most of the time after that, what's coming? Life. It's a circle of life. A child is born, and then across the hall in another department in the hospital, someone is dying or dead. And it's kind of a paradox. You know, in Israel right now, it's the Memorial Day of all the soldiers who were part of the different wars of Israel. And the next day, it's Independence Day. And every year, for years, now it's 72 years that Israel exists, every year there's like a kind of a loud conversation, why not to separate the days? To have each day on its own, and then you have the other group who's saying, because you have the life and you have the death, and because of their death, we are alive. So it's everything. This is the paradox of life. In the end of the portion of Dvarim, Numbers, like at the end of the whole 5 books of Moses, right before Rosh Hashanah, there's a portion, there are 4 portions right before Rosh Hashanah, like Nitzavim or Azinu. The sentences are repetitive, and the Creator gives us a message through Moses. It says, and I gave you the bad and the good, and I gave you the bitterness and the sweet, right? And I gave you this and that, and the life and death, and you choose life. V'bacharta b'chaim. So what will happen after that? We'll choose life. So for each one of us, we need to prepare ourselves and to set up. I don't think there is much time for after that. I think it's coming up really soon. Like everyone, a little bit, we're getting back into normal, some sort of normal ways. But it's like, what is the life that we choose for ourselves? in every area in our life. Especially there are 5 areas that we are all, it's surrounding us, right? It's like our own personal life, which is our spiritual work and our mental health and our spiritual health. The second one is our families, right? So what will happen with our relationship with our family, the relationships that we have, if it's like romantic relationship, husband, wife, and etc. What will happen with our parnasa, in Hebrew it says, what will happen with our economic situation, right? The financial situation. And the 5th one, which is almost connected, it's like, it's really connect to our purpose in life, but it's also connect to money. What will happen after that with our work, with our purpose, how we actually presenting myself in life, in our purpose. So as we asking ourselves this question, and I'm raising them not to answer them now because it's very individual, but I'm raising it for each one of you to look into those areas in your life and what kind of life you choose for yourself. We got to pause. We pause the video, our movie in a way, and we kind of like understanding what it is. And now what? This whole week, connecting to the light, the enormous light of this month of Iyar, which is Ani Hashem Rofecha. It's not just about healing. The month is not just about healing. This month, the Rav mentioned many years ago that in this month, there's the seed level of our thoughts. It's the seed level of our thought. The creation of our thought were created in this month, which mean also good thoughts or bad thoughts, what we choose. So, and this month is really about the light of the Zohar that is being revealed, with the Lag BaOmer that is coming up, with the energy of Rabbi Shimon and the energy of other Kabbalists that exist in this whole month, supporting us in the process of choosing life. Okay, so this is like my opening to you, and I wanted to share with you some of the lessons from ancient Kabbalists relate to the death of the 2 sons of Aaron. Basically, the story is, this portion is being read every Yom Kippur. This portion is being read in a purpose of really cleansing all our negative traits and thoughts that we have ever had in our life. So this is interesting. So Aaron had these 2 sons, Nadav and Avihu, that entered the Holy of Holies in the Yom Kippur day, in this one day of holiness to cleanse. The purpose was that Aaron, as the highest priest, was cleansing all the negative traits of the whole nation of Israel. His 2 sons came into the Holy of Holies together with him, behind him. One of the commentaries says that they have reached this high level of excitement, high level of this enthusiasm and the passion and the highest level of connection to the Creator, that they were so happy with the work, the spiritual work that they have been doing with their father, that they reached their pure essence of the light of the Creator in such a great desire that this closeness brought to their death. Why? Because they really felt, their soul really felt the connection and the essence of the Creator. There's a concept, or there's a kind of that, if we're talking about that, and I'm sorry if I'm pushing buttons to people when I'm using this word over and over, just for the lesson. There's some sort of that people reaching, and it's called Mavet Beneshika, death by a kiss. And it talks about the people who have really reached their highest correction. They corrected themselves like the righteous people. They're like dead in their sleep in a way, right? Because what does it say? They fulfill their purpose in life. What happened to the 2 sons of Aaron, it's not a kiss by the dead, because they didn't finish their work in the world. And the Kabbalist who is talking about it, and his lesson is about it, his name is Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar, and like another name for him is Or HaChaim, is the light of life. And he said that Nadav and Avihu didn't finish their really work, but they actively chose to connect to the Creator by removing their soul from their body. And this is the secret, he says, because they chose to connect and to get closer so much to the Creator in such a way that they knew it will cost them in their life. And they had such a great love for the Creator, he said, that even if they experience this enormous amount of like this spiritual experience, highest spiritual experience that they have felt, they connected to the light, that their soul started to lift up and leave their body. And as the soul left their body, they felt this light and beauty and consciousness that they knew that if they continue with this highest form of connection, they said, according to Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar, they really said to themselves, we want and desire this more than the life that we have in our own body. So what is the lesson for us in this lesson of Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar? It says that we also reach in this taste of our soul, kind of like detaching a little bit from the energy of the body, the desire of the body. You know, when we have it, when we study, when maybe for you, when we read the Zohar, or when we listen to a amazing session, amazing class that is like, wow, or while we're reading a book, or we're reading something, or we're doing some spiritual work, or even actively doing restriction, and we see the result of our restriction, it's not just like a regular happiness and some sort of a regular fulfillment. It's lifting us as if we are, our legs detaching a little bit from, we're jumping from the ground, right? So we have like those aha moment or wow moments, kind of. So what this Kabbalist is saying, that we're receiving from time to time this taste. For us, when we do our spiritual work, whatever the tool we're using, we have this sense or the feeling of our soul is a little bit, we having a raise of our soul. Is like, wow, this is like phenomenal, or this is exciting, this is like, I have no words how to describe it. And he said, especially when we're doing the spiritual work. So another Kabbalist who is actually buried next to De'ari in Tzfat, his name is Arve Nachal, he's taken this lesson from Rabbi Chaim Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar, and he give us another explanation to our life, if we're talking about choosing life, right? And he said that we really have to understand that in our spiritual life, the lack causes connection. When we have lack of something, the lack causes connection to the Creator, right? Connection. So when we have lack in different areas in our life, so if we have lack in love, or we have lack financially, we have lack in happiness, we have lack in different areas in our life, after we've been maybe depressed or feeling bad, some sort of a desire, inner desire, is like our soul is spoken from inside. It's like, come on, like, get up. Let's change this reality. And this lack create this desire to be the engine, the motivation to search for answers, for solution, for connection. So how can we use, which connection I can use? So we call in our teacher, we sharing the challenge that we are in. So the lack cause connection. Okay, in Hebrew it says היעדר קודם להוויה. So the lack is היעדר קודם להוויה. It's like the lack is also emotional. Lack is L-A-C-K, right? Someone asked me if lack or, okay, sorry for my accent. When there's nothing. So, and it says here, this is what the Arvei Nachal, this is what this Kabbalah is explaining, what does it mean when the lack cause connection? It says here that the whole essence of creation of Adam, of creation of the human being, of a person, with the creation of a human being, there was the evil inclination was created together with a good inclination, right? So we have, each one of us have both. We have the good inclination, we have the evil or the bad inclination, and basically we have a choice every moment, every day. We have a choice to choose from evil inclination, to choose bad inclination, to choose being reactive or to choose being proactive, right? So we have that. It says that the evil inclination, or the purpose of all the creation of this bad inclination, it's forcing each one of us to choose freely. Okay? The purpose that this Yetzer Hara, this evil inclination, was created and is like mixed in each one of us, it's to really force us to choose freely. Without this force, if everything is good, we have no free will. Okay? But this is the purpose of creation of the world. So we will have the free will. This is the main gift that we receive. But it says that there is a deeper understanding why the evil inclination exists. Because there is no man or there is no human being that exists without these two forces within him, right? We know that. And it says that those two forces are both of them giving us the energy of vitality, the energy of life. And it says here that when you really connected to the Creator, each one with each own level of connection, but when you really connect to the Creator and you do your spiritual work with the level that you do it, and it's okay, and you grow, and you feel that you grow spiritually, the nature of the soul, as we grow spiritually, the nature of the soul has no desire to stay in the physical body, especially with the connection to the Creator. Okay? And in order to stop the soul to leave the body every time the soul experience and taste in the light, it says here, Elbish achayut hatov hahu, which means it took the essence of the soul, the positive nature of the soul of who we are, and mixed it with another form of energy, which means the desire to connect to the light, to do good, and mixed it with the evil inclination, the desire for the self alone. Because the Arvei Nachal says, because the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, its purpose, it's to protect our soul from leaving the body. So the evil inclination, the whole purpose of its existence, it's what's allowing our soul to stay in our body. This is our life protection. So the evil inclination job or purpose is not just to give us the opportunity to choose freely, but it's allow us to live life within this body, the human body. So the soul is covered with the evil inclination in order to protect the soul to remain in our body. So this is why the evil inclination, or our reactive system, always get involved in our way, always put challenges in our way, saying to us in our mind, brain, whatever, it says, oh, don't get too spiritual, don't connect too much, don't read too much Zohar, don't do this, don't be good, you're good enough, don't do more. So the shell that protected the soul of the two sons of Aaron, Nadav and Avihu, the shell of the Yetzer Hara, of the evil inclination, broke. So this is why their soul left their body before their time. What does it say, like, practically for us? It's like when we feel disconnected, you know, when we feel sometimes disconnected from people, disconnected from ourselves, disconnected from the light, you know, we're not like those righteous people. We're still on earth, which means we're still here. And sometimes we feel disconnected. I don't feel like it, right? We have this, I don't feel like it doing it today. So the whole understanding is to understand that when we feel disconnected, it's part of our protection system. It's a defense mechanism or protection system that allow us to stay alive. So sometimes when you feel disconnected or you don't feel like connecting, remember this system, this protection system is on because it wants us to stay alive. Why? Why we need to stay alive? Because we still have a work to do. We still need to explore who we are. We still have so much to experience in this lifetime. We still need so much to bring to our life and to other people. So the lack, the spiritual lack, is when we feel that we're maybe not connected, but we're really connected to this protection shield that keeps and remains our soul in our body. It's allowing the soul to stay in the body because the nature of our soul wants to live from our body and to connect to the light of the Creator. And the biggest gift that the Creator has been given us is the evil inclination. What do you say about that? Yeah. So next time when we talk about our evil inclination, we can say, thank you. Thank you for keeping us alive. And when other people will say something about our evil inclination, we'll say, hey, be careful. So this is the biggest gift of understanding for us this week of Acharei Mot Kedoshim. It's to understand that so much work were put in our creation. The Creator put so much work into this that gave us two forces that in the 1% we see that we're fighting against, and we have been talking about this desire to share and desire to receive for the self alone for so long, and we have so many ways of giving you the tools how to really overcome it and work on it. But now it's very important that we understand the deeper meaning of why it exists, why the Creator created the evil inclination is to keep us alive. So if the Creator is doing it and so much work to keep us alive, so I'm going back to my first question, what will you choose to do after death? So if when, there's so many books that it says, if you will have 24 hours, what will you do? Even if you have 100 days, what will you do? God willing, we'll have till 190, but it's like, it's building our appreciation that every day we can really do so much. Even it's something that I've read last night in, I have a book that I have it maybe for 20 years, I have this book. And as I've moved from Israel to LA, I had to make sure that all my books are coming with me. So one of the books, and I picked it up yesterday, it's still like, I don't know, maybe you know it, I've chose to bring it here. I've read it again yesterday. It's not it's not like a Kabbalah book. It's called The Instant Millionaire. You heard of it? It's such an amazing book. I've been reading these types of books since I was 15. Now I'm 46. And it's not about the book, but it's about one of the story. It talks about this old man that is becoming a mentor of this young guy, how to become a millionaire. But it's not really about money. It's really about how you live your life at the end of the story. And he was a millionaire that he has a big, huge garden. And as they're walking in his garden, they saw this roses that were really like blooming. And he told them, like, look at the rose for a second. Do you smell the smell? What do you feel about the rose? What do you think about this whole creation? They had a whole discussion, a whole chapter about the rose. But the thing is, what I've got from this, it's like how we are not really present in our life every day. So even if we talk about after death, or we talk about, it seems like we're having a conversation, what will happen in a month from now in our reality, how we would like our reality to be, etc. I'm taking all of us to this moment. How am I present in this moment, in my life today? And doing like spiritual work is not just about impacting in giving a class. It's just even calling a friend that you think he might need to hear something from you, like a good lesson from you, or just like, how do you do, etc. This compassion that we and kindness that we would like to share. So how we're present in our life every day. So it's one of the things that like came to me with all this lesson as I prepared it for you today. And so just again, a reminder that we are really received the gift from the Creator, that He gave us the evil inclination, that built this shell that protects our soul, that doesn't allow the soul to reach to this level of living our body. And it allows us to really do our job, our work, our purpose in this world. And it says in the Zohar, Ilmale Yetzer Hara, if the evil inclination would have exist, lo yuchal lehenot me'avoda ruchanit. He couldn't really enjoy really our spiritual work, because every time that we will learn something, it will fill up with so much joy and happiness, will connect with the light of the Creator, and the soul leave the body. So we will not even enjoy learning anything spiritual. Okay, so this is Rabbi Shimon is saying. So because the soul is holy, and it doesn't have any connection, any holding by any of the vessels, so just can go. But this is interesting, because this is the evil inclination has the holding of our soul. Okay, it's holding our soul in our body. So this is Nadav and Avihu. They were so spiritual that they couldn't do the job in this world in a way that they can remain in the world. The evil inclination shell broke and they left the world. Okay, so the lesson also for us from this one is that as we doing our spiritual work, as we grow, we need also to remember and to build appreciation for the Creator in our life. And a very nice sentence that Michael said about this many years ago that spiritual work, like perfect spiritual work, doesn't allow us to do the real work. A perfect spiritual work doesn't allow us to do our real spiritual work. Because every time we try to be so perfect in our spiritual work, oh, they said to read Zohar 20 minutes, I'm doing it. They said, I will do. We're trying to be so perfect in so many areas in our life and in our spiritual work, but it's not real for us. Okay? Because then we really don't have the true connection to the Creator. So the desire that really burning in one of us in each one of us to grow and to change, and really it is within the desire for the self alone that allow us to do the true spiritual work. Okay, when it talks about in Shema Israel, when it says you need to do spiritual work with levavcha, or like with the two hearts, it's like with the two hearts, the heart that is good and the heart that is bad, with your evil inclination and the good inclination. This is how we need to do our spiritual work. Okay? So the evil inclination brings us the vitality and the life. Because it always seems that when we try to maintain our level of consciousness to be high and not to fall, especially in these days that we have so many uncertain realities coming up our way and creating doubts, and it feels always like a battle, like really like a fight, but it's a necessary fight. It's a necessary fight because without this fight, there is no life, and there's no way that we will do spiritual work. This is why we always fight. Okay? And within that, it brings us to the next, then the next portion that is so connected, because when we talk about life, you know, automatically for me, it talks about the unity of our soul and body. And when we talk about unity, we talk about how you know, great love that can be connected with our body, between us, with our soul to our body, between us to the Creator, and especially between us to our friends. And the portion of Kedoshim is the portion that comes right after Acharei Mot, and it's the portion that the most famous phrase from the Torah is mentioned in this portion, the base to all beliefs, all religion, and especially the base of the knowledge and the wisdom of Kabbalah, which what it is, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. It's mentioned in the portion of Kedoshim, and I wanted to read like a phrase from the Zohar to connect to that. In the portion of Kedoshim, the verse 80, and I'll read a little bit from Aramaic to connect to the Rabbi Shimon, connect to the light of the Zohar that exists, especially in this month, and everything that we have received from the Kabbalah Center, from the learning. So, אמר רבי חייא, בקדמיתה אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך, זכור את יום השבת, לא תישא, לא תרצח, לא תנאף, לא תגנוב, בלשינה יחידה, ואחא אני השם אלוקיכם. איש אמו ואביו תיראו, ואת שבתותי תשמורו, אל תפנו אל האלילים בלשינה דסגאין, אלא תחזה, מיומא דהבו ישראל שכיחין בעלמא, לא ישתכחו כמי קודשה בריחו, בליבה חד וברעותה חדה, כמה באו יומא דקיימו בתורה דסיני, ועל כן קולה יתמר בלשון יחידי, לבטר בלשנה דסגאין, דהה לא ישתכחו כל כך באו רעותה. Which means, if we understanding that the first lesson, that good inclination doesn't bring us life. like only by itself, yeah, as a force of energy. Only together bring us the vitality and the life. And we have to understand, as we grow spiritually, our evil inclination grow with us. So it seems like the shell is thickening even more, which how it's presented in our reality, we having more challenges, right? We having more challenges. And it says like when you have challenges, which means if this is what the Creator brought to you, you can overcome it because you have the vessel to overcome it. And it's true because you grew spiritually. So whenever you have more challenges, understand it's an indication that you grew because it's thickening. And to appreciate that the Creator send you those challenges through the evil inclination because He needs you to stay alive, to feel your purpose, and to impact in your world and other people's world. Okay, so that for all of us to live. So those two forces are growing at the same time to allow our spiritual work to exist. This is what it is. So we have to understand that. And another point that I'm going back into what I just read about ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. So, and I'll explain what I read in the connection of the second point that's talking about love. We all know, and I'll just remind just to all of us that love, ahava in Hebrew, is like the numerical value of it is 13. And we know that it's also the numerical value of ker, deaga, and it's also the numerical value of the word echad, which is one, which is all connected to unity. So when we talk about love, and the Rav Ashlag has been sharing this in so many of his lessons, like really how a person can love someone else as you love yourself. How a person can love someone else as you love yourself. How can, if I love myself and I work on myself with no ego, let's say, and I really appreciate who I am, and I reach a point that I know what my value is and how, and now I'm supposed to treat another person in the same way. The Rav Ashlag is always saying, it's like, how can you do? How can you give your chair or your pillow, you give an example of pillow, or you give from yourself to someone else as you give to you? Like if it's a family member and it's a close family member, fine. If it's a really close friend, no problem. But how can it be? How can you love someone else? So we have few lessons within ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. So when we say l'reacha, it's to your friend, your neighbor. We all know what does it mean to be in a sharing and giving consciousness to other people, because we're really expressing what we have been learning. We know that sharing or transformational sharing, it's really all the essence of spiritual work and it's answer for everything. Kamocha is like yourself. And this is where really the work starts. And this is the question that we need to ask ourselves. How much of appreciation we have to ourselves? If we identify our qualities, we know what we bring to the table, we know what we bring to the world. It's interesting. I think that as kind of an exercise for you, if you can put yourself in some sort of a meditation mode, in a quiet time, and give yourself no more than 10 minutes, not in meditation, like you kind of like set yourself and you put yourself in a state of mind that now you align yourself maybe with a light music, whatever, for 10 minutes, just this 10 minutes, you write everything good about yourself, what you bring to the world, what your best qualities, but 10 minutes. Why? Because from the 11th minute on, the doubts are starting to come up. Oh, I'm not like this. Oh, who am I? And our thoughts like running like to other places. So really 10 minutes. Or you know what, if in your 8 minutes you start this doubt thought coming in, stop. The moment the doubts, just stop it. But for those moments that you have, like write to yourself, what is that? What are those traits? What is who you are now in the age of, who you are in the world, what you bring. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a business person, I'm a good person, I'm volunteering, I'm doing this. Who you are, just list all of the good things that you have. Look at them, see, read this all the time, like really, it's part of the first steps of understanding your values. We spoke about fears many times, we spoke about addictions. Anyway, in our sessions that we had together, we need to understand that we have now really the reminder that we're here to live and to share our traits and to share what we have with the world, with our family, with myself. So it's not just a nice phrase to say love your neighbor as yourself. It's really about you understanding. Each one of us need to understand what is our value that we bring into our family, into any relationship we have with people. To me, what is the value that I bring to myself? What is my self-worth? How do I see myself? Karen said once that when a person really work on really understanding what is his traits and what he brings to the world, and doing this spiritual work, connecting to that, basically we connecting to the essence of the light of the Creator within us. Therefore, if we connect to the light of the Creator within us, therefore what we are completely ambassador of the light of the Creator in the world. We do not need to be so, I don't know, I used to say President of the United States in a few years back, but I'm changing this example. A scientist, I don't know. You don't need to do like a specific position in the world that can be showing that your value. Just as a kind human being, and especially the Rav always said, always like, just have human dignity. When you behave with human dignity, it shows that you connect to yourself. When you connect to yourself, you can be in love to your neighbor, because love, as I mentioned before, it's all about care and unity. So what I've read here in Kedoshim, verse 80, what I've read here, it's all about the time that the Israelites received the 10 Commandments. So it talks about the 10 Commandments, and it says, from the moment the Israelite existed in the world, belev echad uberatzon echad, with one heart and one desire, every time that a group of people, or even ourselves, when we're connected to ourselves with one desire and one heart, why it's mentioned here? Because all the 10 Commandments, they are mentioning like to a singular person. It's like a command to a singular person. It's not like all of you do not kill. It's like it's related to a singular person. It's written as it's written to one person. Why? Because all the Israelites in Mount Sinai were as if one voice, one desire, one unified soul. Therefore, the element or the concept of Tchiyat HaMetim, which is the immortality, which is immortality, has been really revealed in Mount Sinai. Why? Because of the unity. The Rav wrote in the Nano book about the unity of the atoms, like even like why water is so strong, because the atoms of the water are so tied together as if it's one. There's no break, there is no separation. As soon as we have separation between us to other people, separation body and soul, there's death. So again, it's a reminder to us that I've seen a lot in the social media, so many good things that people are writing and encouraging one another, and great messages and supporting one another. It's so amazing. At the same time, you see another group of people that their hand is so easy on the keyboard that they are like sharing completely negative information there. So you see like this two kind, And it's for all of us, for whole humanity, the energy that we have right now in the world for this week, especially with this portion of Kedoshim and Acharei Mot, is to remind us about love. Your neighbor as yourself is to love the other person. You don't have to love him in a way that you need to hug him. Anyway, we cannot hug now. But, right? It's to appreciate another person, even if, like, doesn't matter if they have a different opinion than you. This is the whole message that we're receiving now, because through true love, they receive immortality. So later, it says that later in time, when the 10 Commandments or any other commandment were related to the Israelite in a plural language. Why? Because it was an indication that they were not all together as unified soul. Okay? So this is one of the great messages that we have here in this portion. I couldn't just give another lesson without mentioning Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. It's understanding that it's a sentence that we cannot just pass by without mentioning that. So I mentioned to you today 2 points. One, the purpose of the evil inclination, because I think it was a revelation to most of you, understanding that. I think the deeper understanding is that really the Creator did so much work for all of us to remain in our life, in this life, to just be and do and be like the Creator. And be like the Creator is to love the other person, or love even yourself, even if you disagree with yourself or with the other people. So these are the 2 main lessons that I've decided to share with you today. And another thing that I was thinking right before I will finish the session is, because it's the month of the Zohar, and I'm deeply connected with the Zohar. I grew up with the Zohar in my house. My parents always had it. No connection to the Kabbalah Center. My parents are Moroccan, and they lived all their life with in my life, the way I grew up, I had all the pictures of the Kabbalist around in my house, and the Zohar. So when I came and I was introduced to the Kabbalah Center 20 years ago here in Los Angeles, it wasn't weird for me. I was like, oh, okay, this is the way I grew up. I thought everyone grew up like this. So my connection with the Zohar is very deep. And as I was thinking that maybe if you have the Zohar with you, I would like, if you have the Zohar with you, just close it like this. Ask a question, ask a message that you have. Ask for yourself a message that you want to receive. Any question that you want to have, like maybe an answer for. And with the energy of Rabbi Shimon and all the tzaddikim, you know, Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, also his in 15 of this month is Yahrzeit, and we can have all their answers. Just open it, whatever page it will be. Open it for you. I was asking myself as well, and I got also a message. Interesting. So if you would like 1 or 2 that you would like to share, you can unmute yourself. And if you want to share, like, what if you wanted to ask a message, if you want to have an answer, what is that you received from the Zohar? If you understand maybe a little bit of what you're reading, maybe from the translation that you read, if you got the message from Rabbi Shimon. Yeah, go ahead. What's your name? Yeah. I don't see the name, but unmute yourself. The one with the, yeah, yes, with the, yes, you. I don't see the names. I don't know who you are. but you can unmute and you can share. Oh, it says host unmute.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Here. Hi, Christy.
I'm from Dallas. I was just asking a general, I just asked the light for a general message. It wasn't on a specific topic, but I will say that I have had some anxiety surrounding the state opening back up, so I think that was there. And I opened up to verse 33 in Acharei Mot, and it says, with my soul have I desired you in the night, meaning so long as I find myself in exile among other nations and withhold my soul from all evil that is connected with the nations. With my soul I have desired you. With my spirit within me I seek you, meaning even though they subject my children to every kind of oppression, the Holy Spirit does not depart from them in order that they should seek you and perform your commandments. So for me, what I feel is, listen, even though we're in kind of an uncertain place, the light's here for you, and all you have to do is ask. That's what I'm
Absolutely. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's a message for all of us. And I just want to share with you that this is what it seems to be, unfortunately, the next feeling that people will feel is this anxiety of things are opening up. So this is why the portion comes. What will happen after? Don't worry, there's life. The life continues. And the Creator is with you. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Anyone else would like? Yes. Yes.
I have a question. You said something that maybe I didn't write it all down, but I didn't get the whole thing yet. I mean, I got everything else, but that particular thing. You said when we try to be perfect in so many ways, in so many areas, but it's not real for us when we don't have the true connection to the Creator. Can you explain more about that one, please?
The sentence, I related it that when we try to be so perfect with our spiritual work, then our spiritual work is not real.
Right. But
this is what I refer to. This is what I refer to.
But why our spiritual work is not real if we try so hard, to be...
Because we shouldn't try so hard. Spiritual work shouldn't be so hard. Sometimes we have, it's not sometimes, we have so many tools that we're receiving from our teachers, right? When we learn together and stuff. So there are different recommendations. So as I mentioned, read the Zohar 20 minutes, do restriction, donate, do this, do this, do that, do this. Something we want to be so perfect because our own essence is, let's say, even our correction throughout our life is to be perfect or maybe please other people. So it's not real. We need to connect to us.
Right.
Okay? But I want to hear someone else about a connection with the Zohar, maybe, the message like Christy shared with us. If you got a message for yourself.
Rachel?
Yeah?
This is Sue. I have a question. You said that if we hold the Zohar, which I have with me all the time, and ask the question, how will we know, how will the answer come to us? How will we know? I mean, I don't want to pick on anything. Oh, that's the answer. How do we know the right answer when it does come to us? How do we know that? It's not like a written message.
I think it will be within your feeling that you will feel, that's what it is. You will feel, it doesn't have to be like, okay, you need to go to the market and buy X, Y, Z. It will not be like that, right? But it will bring you the feeling like it brought to Christy. Oh, so I understand the light is with me, even though I have this anxieties, the light is with me. Don't worry, you will go through this, and it's a message for all of us, right? For me, as I was together with you, I'm asking, okay, what's the... I'm constantly, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, I must admit, but I constantly ask, okay, what's next What's my purpose? What's next? Is this enough? What I'm doing? What's next? And in the last 3 years, I've developed this Kabbalistic therapy, if I will, that it's related to Lev Nativot Chochma. It's 32 channels of the light. And because I've been investigating it for 10 years, and I've developed it into a therapy that it's a bit touching a little bit of the body. And I'm doing it only for women. Just it's just a bit more comfortable. And it's always asking, and I haven't been really out with this. In Israel, I treated people. Here, I a little bit started, and I let it be. So I'm always asking myself, so even now I ask, what's next? What's the purpose? And as I was opening, and it says here in the portion of Kedoshim, it talks again about Lev, about the 32 channels. So I was laughing. I said, got it. It's like, stop searching for something else. You already have something, move forward. So for me, this was my message.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
So I hope we all understand that we're here to live, to make the most out of it, as we love our neighbor, and first we love ourselves, okay? So continue and every day, open the Zohar, just get a message for you. It's all the time. As you use it, seriously, the words and the letters will jump to you. You will see the message. You will see it, I promise you. It happens all the time. We have the support of everyone, and it's still the 4th day of the month. So we're still in a Rosh Chodesh. We're still in a happy new moon to all of us. And to remember that this month is, if we want to ignore change, it will run after us. It will push us to change this month. So we're going to be initiative, and we're going to make the change. We don't need that. It will push us, right? So happy week. It has been a really pleasure to be with you. And I left all of you in the chat my email address. You can contact and ask any question that you want. I'm here for you. Bye. See you later.